yeah, it works. I mean, I did actually do a check 1 2 earlier on and it worked then. I don't know why I did it now as I'm recording, but fuck it, I'm leaving it in. Hello, welcome to the MastoCast, the monoblog podcast hosted by me, MastoDan92. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. If you listen to this, the day it comes out on that Friday. And you're probably not listening to this because the new Red Dead Redemption part is out now to digitally play, which I was banging on about last week. So hope you're enjoying that if you are playing it. And I've pre-ordered the physical version, so I'm looking forward to that coming to my Switch. But yeah, hope you're all doing well. Thanks to everyone who's listened to the last podcast and whatnot. We're nearing 100 players, 100 all-time players. So, you know, tell your friends about this piece of shit podcast if you must. But yeah, anyways, got a fair bit of chat about this week for my monoblog, really. For those who are interested, whether you're interested or not. Been to a few gigs, and some good, really good new music to talk about, and some game stuff, and a few questions that have been sent by yourselves. And if you do want to be a part of the, I guess, podcast community, well, it's more like I've got like a Discord, and it's, you know, set up with Twitch and my Twitch and stuff like that, and like we have a chat and everything. And usually I ask people if they want to ask me questions for the podcast and all that. I do the same on Instagram. So if you're interested in joining any of that, all the links are in the description for the Discord and the Instagram and all that sort of stuff. I can answer your silly questions, no matter how silly they are. But yeah, it's been a busy week. It's been a busy ass week. So I'll start with what I've literally just been doing, literally about half an hour ago. So, in terms of new games that I've been playing, I've been playing the new Quake II Remaster, which just got shadow dropped, like surprise announced. It was sometime this week. I think it tied in with that QuakesCon that was on fairly recently. I used to play Quake a lot when I was younger, on the PC. I spent a fair bit of time on Quake 1. I spent a lot of time on Quake 3. A lot of time on Quake 3 when I was a wee little lad. But now there's a Quake 2 remaster out, and bear in mind, I've not really played that much of Quake 2, to be honest. It's a good middle ground between like 1 and 3, because like 1 is sort of like ran on sort of like the same, I guess, engine as like what Doom was and Duke Nukem, and Quake 3 that was released around about the early 2000s, and like, you know, this is around about, you know, PlayStation 2 era, that sort of thing, Xbox original piece, like early PC back then, really hyped up graphics, whereas the 1997 Quake 2, sort of a good middle ground between them two games. And I played it for the first time today because this Quake 2 Remaster is free to play on Game Pass, right? So I thought, fuck it, I'll you know, take myself back some years, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's if you're a fan of what is now a category of games called boomer shooters, basically first-person shooter type games that are sort of, you know, dumbed down graphically, I guess, like to look like the early Unreal Tournaments, Quakes, early Doom games and stuff like that are new games. If you're into stuff like that, hop on back in time and play the Quake 2 Remaster, because it's really cool. It's really cool. Very gory, very bloody. Looks awesome. This remaster's great. I mean, I can't really do like an A/B comparison with Quake 2, the original, because I've never actually played it before. But it's very good. It's very good. Like, I had a blast on it. Like, it looks absolutely crisp. There's a lot of colour going on. They've from what I've heard, they've changed like lighting and shadows and stuff like that. They've improved like the AIs of the NPCs and stuff like that. So like how they're thinking and everything, like to maybe to make it a bit difficult for you. There is a story to this game. It's more of like a simple story. It's nothing special really, to be honest. Like typical sort of alien invasion story from what I can see. But like the main thing I remember Quake for really is multiplayer. Really, like multiplayer on Quake is just a hell of a lot of fun. And yeah, I haven't played it multiplayer yet. The thing is, at the moment, I think Quake 2 is something, if you want to play multiplayer, it's more of a local thing. Like, you can't do it, online at the moment, as far as I can tell. I don't know whether they have any plans in future to make Quake 2 online. But, like, if you got any mates around and, you fire up Game Pass, you can play it too, play a split screen, just like the old days, and have a lot of gory fun. But yeah, Quake 2, man. It's great. It's great. There's probably other people that can explain the game better than me, because like I've not really played Quake 2 until now, but it's wicked. Just have a bit of fun. Like, even if it's for a couple of hours, just have a bit of fun on Quake 2. That's my recommendation for you, is to play the Quake 2 Remaster. It's out on Game Pass, but even if you don't have Game Pass, right, it's out for the Nintendo Switch, and it's out for PlayStation. I imagine it'll be out for PC as well, but like, it's not expensive. It's about £10, if that, from what I've seen and heard on Nintendo Switch and what have you. So yeah, give that a go. Why not? It's good. It's fun. But as far as other games I've been playing Final Fantasy VII. Still really, really enjoying that. Really hammering Disc 2 at the moment. It's one of the best games I've ever played, and I haven't even finished it yet. But it's brilliant. Like, I've fucking been streaming this game for a long time. I'm hoping once I finish it, it'll be spooky season. By the time I finish, it'll be spooky season, and I have an idea of a retro spooky game that I could play to tie in with October. So watch that space for that. Also, if you are listening to this on the day it comes out on the Friday, I am streaming on the night at 7 o'clock, Final Fantasy VII. So if you want to see me there, I'll be on there. That's if you haven't listened. That's if you've listened to this podcast before 7 o'clock on the Friday. But yeah, hopefully see you there. Been hammering some more God of War Ragnarok. That's getting more interesting as it goes on. Really, really enjoying that game. I'm about, how many hours? About 11, 12 hours into it, something like that. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Really, really enjoy it. Like, the game looks absolutely stunning. Like, for me, it's like, cause I've had the PlayStation 5 for about 3 or 4 months now, and like, just like that. This is the one game where it's like, now this is how a PlayStation 5 game looks. Like, I mean, I had a lot of fun on like the Resident Evil 4 remake, and I think that does look incredible on the PS5. But something about like the high dynamic range of the colors and everything else that are popping out on Ragnarok and everything else, all the textures and everything, and playing it at 60 and playing all that at 60 frames, like, it is absolutely stunning. It's great, and I love the story for it. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, I'm loving Ragnarok, and I'm still chipping away at Resident Evil 0 every now and then. I've been playing it like before my night shift starts. Basically, before my night shift starts, like, I'll stay awake as long as I can, so I can have a long sleep in before my night shifts. So I stayed up till about 3:30 this morning. I mean, it's 2 today as I record this, but like, I stayed up till about 3:30 this morning, played Resident Evil 0, and I am slightly stuck at something, but I imagine by the time I get back to it, I should have it figured out. That tends to happen to me. Like, when I'm stuck at something on a game, like, I'll leave it alone, and then when I come back to it, everything, it'll just click on, this puzzle goes here, that sort of thing. But that's what Resident Evil's always been like. It's always full of like puzzles and stuff like that, and it's great. So yeah, still enjoying it. Still really, really great. I'll talk about it a lot like once I've finished it. But yeah, there we go. That's it for video games, really, to talk about. But I've got a couple of gigs to talk about as well that I've been to, right? So I'll start with the one I went to last night before I started playing Resident Evil 0 till about 3 in the morning. So I went to a venue called Boom in Leeds, which is a venue I've not been to in a long time. Not since it was called Temple of Boom, but now it's just called Boom now. Really cool, dingy, sort of like punk hardcore type venue. Really DIY. It's just a really, really cool aesthetic about it. It's just a really good vibe altogether. I love going back to that venue, but I went to see a band last night called the Callous Daoboys, and there was some good support acts that were up. There was a post-hardcore band from Sheffield called Sobriquet. I'm just making sure I'm pronouncing it right because I've bought the t-shirt at merch and I bought a cassette too, like for a total of £15. And yeah, I was very, very, very happy with that purchase. But yeah, they were really cool. Like, they sounded really good on stage. They had a lot of energy. They opened up, and they were very, very happy to be there. Like, playing to a good amount of people, to be honest. Like, it wasn't far from being sold out, the Callous Daoboys show. But yeah, they were very happy to be there. Played a good set. They sounded tight. The guitars could have been turned up a little bit more for me. That's probably what every guitar player says, like me. But they were great. Like, they sounded a bit like Botch, like Will Haven-y. Bits of like the moody sort of Refused kind of days. But yeah, they were really, really cool. Sobriquet they're called. That's I'm reading it from my shirt now. SOBRIQUET. There you go. And there was another band after them called Love Rarely. I can't remember where they're from, but they were great. I thought they were really, really great. 5-piece band, very, very mathy. If you're into like your TTNG, This Town Needs Guns, La Dispute, Tiny Moving Parts, like that sort of emo side of like mathy, all over the place, intricate guitar stuff, like tappy sort of thing. But like vocals are quite sort of out there, like a La Dispute or a Touche Amore or like Tiny Moving Parts, that sort of thing. They were really, really cool. Very, very tight indeed, and they sounded good. And like she, like the front woman for that band, like was really, really fired up as well. Like she had this really cool microphone stand, like with LEDs like wrapped around it and stuff. But like she was all over the place, like getting right into the pit and stuff, and like jumping up and down and like being very, very emotive and stuff. But yeah, they were a really cool band. So 2 great opening bands, really awesome. And the headline band, man, the Callous Daoboys, fucking amazing. They dropped an album last year called Celebrity Therapist, which was like one of my favorite albums of the year last year. I think it was definitely in my top 5. It was probably like number 2 or number 3, like from being my album of the year. Like it's so good. The very sort of like Dillinger Escape Plan, like very early Dillinger Escape Plan, but they're very, very experimentational as well. Like they've got like 6 band members on this tiny stage. Like they've got a vocalist, they've got a violin player, 2 guitar players, a bass player, and a drummer. And there's a lot that goes on. Like there's some synthy sort of backing stuff as well with their songs, but they are so tight as well. Like doing all them sort of like Dillinger blasts, like the really sort of frantic, like like dissonant sort of stuff. Carson, the front guy, is awesome. He's really, really funny as well. Like he just like he likes to say like bad jokes for the sake of it, like to get a good reaction. But like there were parts like where the mosh pit was totally going off. He was just like, show me what free healthcare looks like count to the highest numbers you possibly can, and then punch the person in the face next to you. Like some of the crack he was coming out of it was like quite funny, and like in general, like that have like some sort of interludes in between songs, and the weeby sort of like K-pop tracks, and they had like the intro to The Reason by Hoobastank at one point, like got me giggling for a little bit for sure. But just very, very tight, all over the place. The whole band fired up. I want to see them again, but like on like a big stage, like Download or something like that. Like I can't see them ever doing like main stage Download, but I'd love to see them like on second stage or something. Like just hearing a bit more of that, like on a big PA system, because like Temple of Boom is just it's got a pretty basic PA like setup. Like sometimes it's quite hard to hear all like a lot of like nuances that go on with a band's work. Like I've noticed that from many gigs at Boom. I'd still love that venue. It just can sometimes be hit and miss, like with some bands, but they still sounded great. But like I just want to hear them on like a bigger stage, a bigger system. Like it'll be very, very interesting to see. Like they are touring with Tesseract, I believe it's next year, and like Tesseract are a pretty sizable band in the UK. Like they'll be doing like the academy size venues and that sort of thing. So like they'll be playing there. Like it's quite tempted to go. I'm quite tempted to go on that tour, to be honest, like to see them. But I mean, it's all the way to Manchester though, and I can't be bothered to go all the way to Manchester. But the Callous Daoboys, brilliant. Played a lot of songs from the new album and a few hits from like the previous one. They're only on for about 50 minutes or so, but like it's literally just like a Euro tour that they're doing, and this was the last show of the headline run before they play Arctangent, I believe is this weekend. So yeah, they were a band with a lot of hype behind them, and I hope things propel for them, because they're great. And yeah, I love them. They're brilliant. Anyways, that's one gig out the way. Let me tell you about what was probably the greatest gig I've ever been to this year, and comes from a venue called Peace Hall in Halifax, which is a venue I've never been to before, and it's fucking brilliant. It's basically like an outdoor thing, but like this outdoor square, but you're perimetered by like this old building. It's full of like pillars and stuff like that. It's quite old, and you've got like a clock tower behind like the main stage and stuff. There's loads of nice like bars and like food stalls and like along the perimeter of the venue. Really, really great venue. Not the type of venue I'd see the Bizkit act, which is where I saw them. Just great. It's a great venue for a great band. But I'll talk about the supports first. We walked in just as Joey Valence and Bray played. We're sort of like they're like a hip hop act, and sounded very sort of Beastie Boys, sort of like Beastie Boys Run the Jewels sort of crossed over. They were really cool, really entertaining. Like I saw like last few songs, like they were very happy to be there. But I don't know anything by them, so it was hard for me to sort of like get into it. But like I liked the sound of what they were going for. They had a good turnout. They were great. Then there was Kenny Hoopla, who was on afterwards. Didn't do anything for me at all, I'll be honest. Kenny Hoopla. It's sort of gone more for that Travis Barker influence sort of pop punk thing, like Machine Gun Kelly, Youngbloods, that sort of thing. It's not for me. It just isn't for me. I mean, first and foremost, like the sound for them wasn't all that great, to be honest. Like they were pretty quiet, and it was quite muddy sounding. Like Kenny himself, the leader of the project, just hold up like throughout the whole thing. Just sort of, there wasn't anything about his presence that sort of grasped me. Nor did the songs do that. there's three members on the stage, like a drummer, Kenny himself, who was just a singer, and a guitar player, and a guitar player who was just playing the basics of the songs, like all the power chords, whilst there was backing of like lead guitar going on and solos and like stuff like that, and bass and everything else. And it's just like, I don't know whether it's just me being a fucking, I don't know. I've been going for gigs for like 20 years now, old, and you know, it's very recent now. You see a lot of bands having backing track with the live music, which, you know, some of it I will genuinely take exceptions for. Like, there's some bands that, like, you know, have a lot going on with the backing track, like, you know, synth wise or orchestral wise, that you can't really replicate with a live audience, like, sorry, with a live setup, like as a rock band, which is fair enough. I don't mind some of that being in there. But when you're literally like a singer, a guitar player, and a drummer, and like you literally got like loads of other guitar leads and stuff like that, and the bass tracks and everything else, but backing tracks, like, that's one thing that's I've been like, oh, can't get away with that. So why can't you just hire more musicians? Like, it'll sound better, it'll look better. That's what I thought, anyways. But yeah, Kenny Hoopla didn't do anything for me, unfortunately. But I was there to see Limp Bizkit at the end of the day, and Limp Bizkit are one of them bands that got me into the music that I'm into today. I'm like deadly serious. Like, when I got a PlayStation 2 for Christmas back in 2001, I believe, and it came with WWF SmackDown Just Bring It. The Undertaker used to come out to Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, and I thought, that song is fucking sick. I want to hear the whole thing. And next thing you, I tried to look for like a rock channel on the telly or whatever. Found MTV2. Sat there waiting for Rollin' by Limp Bizkit to come on. Then, as I was waiting for that, I ended up discovering bands like Linkin Park, Deftones, Korn, you know, that early new metal sort of scene. And, you know, I fell in love with that genre of music ever since. So I guess if it wasn't for Limp Bizkit, I wouldn't be where I am today. Probably. I don't know. But I've seen Limp Bizkit before a couple of times, and they're fucking great. Like, they're a very, very awesome live band. But this is just the best time I've seen them. It was ridiculous. I mean, I did have a few beers. Quite a few beers while I was there. I tend not to drink that much when I'm at a gig or a festival. Like, I like to watch the bands and like, you know, take it all in. But with Limp Bizkit, they're like a party band. I wanted to have a good skinful. I wasn't worried about driving home straight after the gig or anything. Like, I was with my little brother and his mates, and we all had a good time. And the moment they got up on stage and opened with "Show Me What You Got," the whole place, front to back, up and down, jumping everywhere. And like, I got out of mosh pit retirement. I fucking went in there, and I was just screaming and jumping through literally every song, pretty much, apart from like Behind Blue Eyes. That's like an acoustic song, but like every song, I was jumping up and down for. My fucking calves were killing the next day, honestly. But Limp Bizkit, they just sound like, the sound for them was perfect. They all looked fucking wicked. John Otto was back on drums. Good to see him back on there. Fred Durst, he didn't have his whole dad vibes get up on him. He went back to his sort of roots, you know, red cap, big massive gold chain, like huge massive gold chain, and like, you know, an oversized Nike jersey, and like I said, Bizkit on the back, and like oversized shorts and everything. Like, he looked like the old Fred Durst again, and I was like, oh, there we go. And Wes Borland looked cool as fuck as well. Like, he had like a black suit on, like a big massive curly mustache, and like he had like a sort of skull face paint on him, but like he he looked like he almost looked like a different version of like Papa Amaritas, but like playing a flying V guitar. But oh, God, Limp Bizkit just played the best set I've ever seen them do. Like I said, I've seen Limp Bizkit a couple of times before, but like they played some songs that I've not heard them live do before. Like obviously they played a couple of songs off the new album, Still Sucks. They only played a couple though, which that being Pill Popper and Dad Vibes, and Dad Vibes was really fucking awesome. But but like I said, they opened up with Show Me What You Got, which I don't know. I've never heard them do that live before. And 1999 from Significant Other, never heard them do that before. They went Show Me What You Got into 1999, into My Generation, into Hot Dog, into Rolling, into Pill Popper, Dad Vibes, into My Way, into a cover of Heart Shaped Box and Smells Like Teen Spirit, and into Take a Look Around, into The Nookie, and they played Boiler. I've never heard them do Boiler before. That was quite a mosh for me. But I never heard them do Boiler before. Into Full Nelson, like I need to talk about Full Nelson for a minute because he tried to invite people up on stage to sing Full Nelson with him. When the opportunity arose, I ran to the front and I had my hand up. I was like, "Pick me, pick me," because I know the words to that album. I know pretty much that album. I know word for word. I've listened to that album ever since I was a little boy. Like I wanted to be up there with Limp Bizkit to sing Full Nelson with them, but instead some girl got up with them and she didn't know any fucking words. Like she was just there like, and I was like, fucking hell, I would have fucking totally smashed that, and you fucking stole it from me. Fuck it, nah. She had a good she got up on stage with Fred Durst and had fun. I can't take that away from anyone, but I totally would have fucking smashed it if I got up there. I would have done. So yeah, Full Nelson, into Behind Blue Eyes, into Break Stuff, and that was it. No, that was the fucking set list of my dreams. Break Stuff, like the break, like you know, like the riff, like the breakdown riff for that, like all that build up. I just fucking saw red. It was one of them things. I was just like, I just thought of all the bad things, in life or whatever, any shit like any of my bosses gave me or anything like that, or people, that built up and I fucking got in there for Break Stuff and I just fucking screamed my fucking voice out. Oh, that was so good. The whole band fired up. Fred Durst sounded amazing. The band sounded amazing. John Otto was there. The whole OG band members was there. Just Limp Bizkit. Oh, just one of the best party bands to ever go see live. Just, if they ever come back, I'm sure they will come back, but they do take the time coming back to the UK. Like the two times I saw them before this was 2013 at Download and 2014 on the Kerrang tour. So it's been 9 years since I've seen Limp Bizkit. But God, it was just so good to see them again. Just like one of the best gigs I've been to this year. Just so much fun. Like getting in the pit, with like the best set list, singing along. I had a great time. I had such an amazing time. So yeah, big up Limp Bizkit. I'm gonna get into. Shall we get into questions now? Yeah, let's get into questions. Yeah, I'll get into the questions now, shall I? I've got them from Discord, and I've got from what's it called? Instagram. There we go. No, sorry, I was just looking for the questions that I got. Haley sent one last week, but yeah, Haley sent one last week, but I already recorded back by then. So I'll answer that for her. Her question is, what is your favourite tattoo and why? I don't know, actually. I generally don't know. I don't know what my favorite tattoo is. I've got a few. Most of them small ones. I've got one big one on my calf, which is of an owl. I really, really like that one. My favorite. I never really sort of looked at them and thought that's my favorite. I really, really like. There's one on my ankle. It's just like a tribute to a friend of mine that died a few years ago. And his nickname was Chippy. And me and a bunch of friends have got sort of similar tattoos, like on our ankle, and it's basically of a chip, and like they've all got like different characteristics and stuff like that. Like Chippy used to be in a band called Coalition, and so I asked if I could get like a chip, like with a guitar and like a cigarette in his mouth, and yeah, he did that, and yeah, I really like that. It's a really nice, cool design. I love it. Like it's a nice one to look at. That might be my favorite. I don't know. Yeah, it's a cool little tattoo, and I really, really like. I've got like this owl on the back of my calf as well, which I got for free, which is mad. Basically, it was from an apprentice tattoo artist, Mary Nicholson. Shout out, from Hartlepool. Like, basically needed free skin to tattoo like some realism stuff on. I went, I'll do it. So I got a nice owl on the back of my calf, which looks cool. I'm really, really happy with that. Yeah, that's probably my favourite. I got another one from Haley asking why am I such a wanker. I know she's joking with that, but she put, why are you such a wanker? Lol. I don't know. Just born this way. Born this way. Soz. She's a cheeky chap, isn't she? But yeah, let's get the Discord questions up. As I said before earlier in the podcast, if you want to submit any questions or anything like that, all the links are in the description of how you can do so. And let's see. Let me just go to my category called MastoCast in the Discord. There we go. Of course, good old Six Alpha Fury in there with 3 questions. Always in there with the 3 questions. So thank you very much, sir, for your questions. What are your living essentials? Could be something as simple as the clothes you're wearing to as detailed as always having access to beer. My living essentials. Interesting. I think if I were to start from scratch, I mean, obviously, like, I don't know. If I was to start from scratch, like, I just got booted out of my house, and I got told to like live in a house by myself, and I needed 5 things to live with. What would I have? Don't know. Oh, I mean, obviously clothes. I need clothes. Need a bed. That's a living essential, isn't it? Definitely. Gotta have a bed. I love bed. I need bed in my life. Let's see. A microwave, so I can make some scran. And let's see. Yeah, microwave. Probably my Nintendo Switch. I'd have that. And what could be number 5? What else is a living essential? I don't know. Maybe my guitar. I don't know. I hope that answers one of your questions. Which finger is your favourite and why? I don't know. What's my favourite finger? I don't know. Probably my middle finger on my left hand, because that is my guitar playing hand, and I use my middle finger quite a lot for like when I do like bends for like pinch harmonics. Probably that, and you know, use it to tell people to fuck off, which I don't do. Unless you're a bad driver and you nearly crash into me, then I'll be like, you fuck off. Ah! But I've never had a favourite finger before, so I'll give it to this one, the middle finger on my left hand. if you had to consistently smell one thing, what would it be? Now that is a good question. If you had to constantly smell one thing, what would it be? Probably Palmos. Yeah, I think so. I think if I had to smell Palmos for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. I'd be very, very happy. Like you wouldn't have to worry about farting as well, because like all you'd smell is Palmos. Like, like if I mean, if you had to smell one thing forever, I wouldn't have to worry about other people farting around me, or myself farting. Like, I just smell Palmos for the rest of my life. I'll be very, very happy. But mind you, it might make me like really, really hungry and make me want a Palmo every day, and I'll be very, very swole and big, which kind of am now already. But like, I'd be even bigger if I had a Palmo every day. But hey ho, hey ho, hey ho. Yeah, I'd happily smell a Palmo every day. Definitely. Fucking love the smell of it. I just love the smell of food in general, whether it be a breakfast or a Palmo. Anyways, I've got one more thing to chat about. Anyways, about an album. There's a couple of new things out, to be fair. That I want to chat about. There's an EP, a collab EP between Turnstile and Bad Bad Not Good, called New Heart Designs. Turnstile are just one of the best bands going at the moment. Their album Glow On, that came out a couple of years ago, was my album of the year. One of the best albums to come out recently. Incredible live band, just amazing at what they do. And they've done a collab with Bad Bad Not Good, who I don't really know that much of, to be honest. But like, they're basically sort of like lo-fi, sort of chilled versions of like a few of the songs from the latest Turnstile album. So you've got Mystery, Alien Love Call, and Underwater Boy, all got sort of like lo-fi, some clean guitar, chorusy stuff, like, and some like funk soul sort of elements to these Turnstile songs. It's a really cool listen. I recommend you check that out. It's canny. It's really, really canny, and something local ish I'd like to talk about comes from a small band from Leeds called Venus Grrrls. They have just brought out a single called Lidocaine. I've had my ears on Venus Grrrls for a few months now, and like they've got some really good singles out there. I don't know if they've got any like EPs out or anything that I've just completely missed. Yeah, they've got an EP that was released 2 years ago. I haven't listened to that though, sorry. But they've released a song that's been stuck in my freaking head like for the past week or so, called Lidocaine. And it's absolutely fantastic. The band had a bit of a pause recently because unfortunately their vocalist got diagnosed with cancer, with leukemia. But thankfully has overcome that and is not suffering from that anymore. And this song goes to talk about that, and it is so catchy. Very sort of like it's just a cool sort of cool heavy alt rock banger, to be honest. Like the chorus, it's you my lidocaine baby. That sounded fucking horrible, but it's a really, really fucking cool track. They're from Leeds, they're great, and there's some really cool lead guitar going on as well. They're a cool band. I've never seen them live before. They do come to Hartlepool though quite often, or Stockton. But yeah, I need to see them. They're great. This new song's great, so give that a listen for sure. But I want to talk about an album that's just come out on Friday, which might have a chance to be my album of the year this year. Like, honestly, this comes from a band called Urne. They released an album 2 years ago called Serpent and Spirit, which I really dug. I thought that album was really, really great. If you like Gojira, MastoDan, like Pallbearer, that sort of stuff, like a bit of heavy metal, like that album's decent, but I wasn't expecting such a massive jump to this album that we got here. The album is called A Feast on Sorrow. This album is fucking amazing. It's brilliant. Like, if you were into like MastoDan and like Gojira, that sort of thing, like, you need to listen to this album. It's honestly incredible. Like they've improved so much from the last album, and I really like the last album, but this is just, it sounds way more powerful and way heavier and really, really crushing, but it's got a really deep concept behind it. Like, the whole album sort of like speaks about loss and like anguish, and it's very, very emotive. For an album like this to sound as emotive as this, it's a hell of an achievement. And it really reminds me of Magma by Gojira. Because Magma by Gojira goes on about the loss about Joe Duplantier and Mario Duplantier's mother, who passed away. And like, I get a bit like that. I get some vibes from that, which I reckon that is why they went with Joe Duplantier, the singer from from Gojira, to produce this album. And bear in mind, Urne are only a small band. They have just played Bloodstock the day this came out, though, on the main stage. So it's good to see them, you know, getting a bit more of a fan base there. But like, I'm hoping this album really does spread along and gets a lot of good word of mouth for it, because it's absolutely brilliant. It sounds so powerful, and the singer is a lot more versatile in this album than he was the last one. Like, you can really hear the anguish in his voice. Like, he could do some really sort of guttural low vocals and some sort of like high sort of like shrieking sort of screamy vocals. And the guitar playing on this is second to none. They're a 3-piece band, may I add, and they sound this massive. The guitar player is doing so much on this album, and like, just the fretwork and all the solos sound amazing. They sound memorable. Like, you get some stuff that sound like Blood Mountain era MastoDan, while some of the guitar solos sound like something fucking Dave Gilmour could have made. It's a brilliant album. Just listen to it. It's amazing. I've gotta say, my favourite song is a song called The Long Goodbye / Where Do the Memories Go? And it goes through so much. Like, it's 11 minutes, 15 seconds, so bear with it. But like, it's fucking amazing, that track. And there's at the end of this song, like, it's got like a vocal passage that's been sort of repeated throughout the album, and it ends on that, like, into a massive crescendo. It goes through sort of thrashy, sort of fast-paced stuff, like it's come from And Justice for All, like Metallica. It's I can't stop listening to this album. I've listened to this album loads ever since it's come out. It's awesome. I don't know what else to say. I'm not really good at reviewing music, as you can tell. I've listened to this album 4 or 5 times. I've never really took any notes down or anything like that, which I should probably do next time. But yeah, listen to the new Urne album. It's Urne spelled Urne. So that's my recommendation. Listen to the new Urne album, A Feast on Sorrow, as well as the other stuff I've been talking about from Venus Grrrls and Turnstile and Bad Bad Not Good. And give the new Quake II Remaster a go. That's it for me. I have been MastoDan. Thanks for listening to the MastoCast. if you listen to this on the day it comes out, I'll be live on Twitch at 7 o'clock. And I am going to be back next week with episode 10. Who would have thought I'd make 10 episodes of this already? But here we are. Yeah, thanks very much, everyone, for listening. Hope you have a lovely weekend. And yeah, keep on rocking in the free world. Also, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe on the YouTube, and follow, download on Spotify, Apple, and everything else. Look at all the links in the description.